Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. In my previous video, I worked with images out of this book. It's an Encyclopedia of New Zealand. It's volume 2. I believe there's 3 volumes, but I've only managed to pick up this one. And I worked with black and white images out of this book and index cards. I was going to put it away and then really just wanted to do another project out of this book. And it has a lot of maps. So there's one of the botanical images that I was working with in my last video. So these ones are coloured, but the rest of the stuff in the book is black and white. Even the photographs are black and white. And there's quite a lot of maps. So there's one there. And all different types of maps. Hopefully I'm on screen for that. And I thought, let's do something with the maps. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I've already removed 4 of the maps and I have backed 3 of them onto coffee dyed paper, and I thought, well, I'll do one with you so that you can see my process. Nothing spectacular, nothing revolutionary, just in case you're wondering how to do it or what to do precisely or what glue. I'm just using my glue stick. And I'm going to give it a really good coverage of glue all over, and I've left all the borders on. I haven't trimmed any off apart from one page that got a bit wayward in the ripping out of the book, and there's a reason why I've left all the borders and stuff on, so that will hopefully become clear as we head into this project. So you can use anything for this. You could even use like modern maps, transportation maps, bus route maps, any map. It doesn't matter whether it's black and white or colour, but if you do have black and white maps, then this is absolutely perfect for those that you might not otherwise have a use for, or might just, you know, tear into collage or something. So we're going to make some map ephemera celebrating. Whoops, there's a clump of glue right down the bottom there. Let's just remove that. And I'm going to pop it down on top of our coffee dyed paper. And then I'm going to use a card to smooth it on and making sure I get good adherence. And I see there's a little corner there I missed. So we're just going to go, and it probably won't matter that I've missed this corner, but might as well start out with a good base. And then if we lose that, we lose it, doesn't matter. But at least if we keep it, it's going to be good. Then I like to turn it over and run over the back of it with my card, or whatever you like to use. And if you happen to get wrinkles, don't panic. Like I've got wrinkles in this one. You probably can't see, but just kind of ease them into a point and make the wrinkles, and it's all just going to add to the end look. So don't panic about that. So there we go. And another reason I did 3 of them off camera, besides saving you watching me glue, was so that these had a chance for the glue to dry. Okay, so now I want to distress them up. I want to make them look really old. It is a 1966 book, so it's already got some age to it, but let's see how we can make it older. And I wanted the coffee dyed paper on the back so that it was good for writing on, because, you know, I believe things primarily should have a purpose in a journal. Not exclusively, like there's exceptions to that. If you've got little bits of decorative ephemera, that's great. But with something that's quite big, I think it should have a purpose as well. And the purpose of this is writing space as well as decorative. So I'm just going to take this, and the glue should be nice and dry now. And I'm going to just hand tear. And because it's 2 layers, you're going to get a layered effect on the edge, because they're not going to tear the same rate, because they're different qualities of paper, different weights of paper. Well, at least these ones are. So you're going to get a really interesting, cool layered effect. I don't know if you can see the difference there in the coffee dyed at the back, and then the map page is torn in smaller. And then you end up with these cool strips to do something else with. So I'm going to tear all the way around it, and trying not to be straight. I don't want to be straight. I want it to look awesome. You know, imagine like a treasure map, you know, where it's all rough and looks like it's travelled round many a ship around the world and changed hands a dozen times, if not more. Been stored away in a footlocker or in the ship's, the captain's quarters, or hidden somewhere. You know, we want it to look rough and fun. And I haven't, this is the one that I trimmed a bit off because I needed it straight to begin with, so I haven't got a lot of room here. I need to be a bit more careful. But in saying that, if I go into the map, it's actually fine. In fact, why don't I do that just to demonstrate that it's not going to matter at all if we lose bits of the map. Like, this is definitely something you don't have to be super precious about. Like, I was actually trying to be too precious then, and then I realized, well, actually I don't need to be. So there we've got our really cool rough and ready, and already it's looking interesting, isn't it? I could tear off this. In fact, I think I want to tear some of it off and leave some, just to add a bit of more mystery, like, you know, whatever it was talking about, we've kind of got hints of it. Perhaps not quite such a peak in the middle there, just until you're happy with how it looks. And I think that's looking good to me. So I'm going to now very carefully scrunch, just like we did with the index cards. And just make it look a bit more worn and aged. And this will flatten out a bit easier than the index cards, because this is paper, whereas the index cards are, funnily enough, cardstock, as if the name doesn't give it away. Okay, so I'm going to grab out my, if I can find it, oh, what have I done with it? Hang on a tick, people. I had a wee clean up on my desk, and now I can't find things. Ah, here it is. That's because it's not even where it should be. There's some clean up, that is. Right, so just to catch any ink that goes off the edge, and I'm going to dirty up the front of it with vintage photo. You could use whatever you like. You could use a coffee in or tea solution. Would work really well. Just don't get it too saturated because of that, the glue. We just use glue stick, and it could part company if you get it too wet. Or do the dirtying up before you glue it onto a backing, is the other way around you could do it. Right, so that, and we're going to give it a nice, I want a fairly dark edge. So if you've got a darker ink, then that would be a good one to pull out now. I don't. I really should invest in like a walnut stain or something. Gradually over time I'll build my stash. Doesn't happen all at once, does it? So, you know, I keep arguing myself out of the sense, oh no, I don't need that, don't need that. But one day I will get it. As well as building up my stash of other colours as well, because I do like having lots of different colours to play with. So I'm just trying to give it a really, really dark edge, almost a kind of burnt edge. And I did consider burning it, and then I thought, I don't want to get in trouble with anyone having accidents with using an open flame, or myself even, like it getting out of control while I'm trying to film or damaging the camera, because it would be literally right under the camera. You know, so I thought maybe we won't actually use flames. And so to that end, I'm also going to add a bit of black. So I'm going to grab a sponge and my black ink, and I'm going to add some black in spots, not all the way around, but just to really darken some of those edges like it has been singed a bit in the fire. And that's actually turning out really nicely. Oops. So very similar project to my last video, but different. Same but different. Whenever I say that at home, same but different, my husband always argues it's either the same or it's different. It's not both. But that saying is actually quite accurate. Things can be the same but different. Right. Okay, so I think that's all good on the black. If you can see that difference, just hitting spots, not going to, you know, I might even bring some bit more into the, like, because it's likely to have got some soot over the front of it. Just a bit of charring. Just trying to be selective where I put it, because I don't want, you know, I don't want to plaster the thing with black. Just want to add some grunge, some grime, some authenticity, some fake authenticity, which is quite fun. Okay, so we're getting there. We're starting to look all distressed, and I'm going to run my vintage photo, just pick up some of the creases on the back as well, because it's going to be dirty on the back. And then we'll give that back edge some of the ink as well. Not so worried about making it as dark on the back, because the focal point is the front, of course. But we want it all to kind of fit together. Right, there we go. Looking good so far. Right, I'm going to give it just the wee spritz of water. See if I can move some of that ink around. Ooh. And the trick here is not to go too much. Again, we don't want to saturate it and risk that glue coming apart. Oops, I don't think that even went on the paper, that one. Oops, no, that definitely didn't. Everywhere but. Right, just going to grab a... Oh, we have got some movement there. Just want to get some of the puddling. Right. Now I want to add some coffee stains, like it's had a coffee cup set down on it. So this is my only stencil that I've got, excuse me, with sort of coffee rings on it. So we're just going to go ahead and use this one, and I'm going to use my coffee ink. Now if you don't have a stencil or a coffee ring stamp, then why not grab an actual coffee cup and dip it in some coffee and then use it like a stamp. I was going to do that until I remembered that I actually did have a stencil. Cool. And then maybe another little bit over here. Just so there were two people around the map studying it, leaving their coffee marks all over it. And then let's perhaps add a bit of splatter, because one of them also had a spill. They weren't very careful with their maps, were they? Yep, I like that. And maybe a little dribble down from this one. Cool, liking that so far. Right, and I want to also use the stamps that I was playing with in the last video. I thought, yes, these would work as well. This is one place where the word condemned might actually work, but I don't know if I want that. What would we like to put on here? I'm thinking this middle one, it's field label, like it's been out in the field, they've gone doing whatever they need to be doing. This one's about farming, so maybe it was a someone doing a livestock check or something. I don't know. I don't want it right in the middle. Maybe up there. It would make sense to be down in the corner where there's nothing, wouldn't it? Okay, let's put it down there then. Now what colour do we want? Do we want a brown or a black or a colour? I'm actually wondering about blue. So I might use this navy one that lovely Lisa sent me in Happy Mail. I was using this in yesterday's video, and just love how rich and deep the blue is. So it's a Stampin' Up one, and it's called Night of Navy. So I haven't got any other blue that's quite like this, so it's really fun. So I'm layering up some stamps here. Yes, oh, it's got a fantastic old look to it, and the blue is so rich and deep that it's verging on black, but it's not black, which is fun. Okay, so we've got that one there, and we want another one, maybe this little round receipt or received one, and maybe we do this, hunting for it, my red one. So switching to archival ink in vermilion. Oops, I didn't get all of that stamp inked up, so let's do that again. That's better. A little splash of red, like that. Okay, now the final thing is, you could go as crazy as you would like to. You could splatter it, you could stamp it even more, like literally you could do whatever. But the final step that I want to do is that I want it to go in a journal. So this size that it is, you know, is probably a bit big to fit as is. So we need to fold it. So we want our fun heart on the outside. I'm going to fold it just in half. You could fold it into thirds, depending where you want to fit it. I'm thinking this would look really cool behind a belly band or in a big pocket, you know, sticking out. Imagine, if you will, I'm just going to grab an example pocket base. So imagine that's your pocket, you know, sticking out the top like that or like that, you know, whichever way you wanted. Oh, how fun is that? I think that's cool. Very happy with so far. But I also want to dirty up this edge a bit, because we're going to imagine, if we can, that it's been folded and travelling around in somebody's pocket or their bag or something, and so it's going to have developed a dirty crease line. So I'm going to just dirty that up a little bit. I'm not going, trying not to go too heavy, because I don't want it to be like super prominent, but I do want there to be like an obvious, that's where it was folded. And same on the inside. Just hit that crease with a little bit, and I'm using the coffee ink just because it's a little bit lighter than the vintage photo and not so orangey. It is still a bit orangey, but not in the same way as the vintage photo is. And there we have a fun piece of ephemera, all torn, and you could go even crazier with the tearing, which I might do in the next one. So there's one. Let's do another, because I'm having fun. So let's do a different type of map. So this one has got some really cool numbers and symbols and stuff on it. So let's do this one. So we're going to start again by tearing our edges. And you can do this with smaller maps. They don't have to be the big full page maps or anything. Just work with whatever you've got. You can make some cool, really nice journal cards with a smaller map that you don't need to fold. So I think I'll leave that power resources in there just because it gives it an interesting shape. Yeah, I think so. So on this one, I'm going to add some tears like we did with the index cards. I'm going to take some little chinks out here and there. I'm going to perhaps give this a corner a roll. Fold up like so. And then down here I might do just a little sort of fold back from the tear. So it hasn't lost a chunk, it's just been folded back. There we go. So let's attack it. Let's first give it some crinkly love. And anywhere that you've torn it, it's probably going to get even more torn in this process. So you could wait and do those tears until after you've crinkled it. But it doesn't matter, I think. And we've got another tear there. That's cool. Just adds fun. And then just smooth it out a little bit. And now I'm wondering what it would be like if I ran multiple colours of brown over it instead of just the vintage photo. What do you reckon? Should we give it a go? See what it looks like? I mean, it can't be a bad thing, surely. So, got this. Maybe we'll just give that a little fold down that bit. So let's go and do our edge, nice and dark. So we're almost at the weekend. It's time for me to start asking you what your plans are for the weekend. Have you got anything fun planned? Anything exciting? I think at the moment the only extent of our plans is to get the transmission fluid changed or topped up or whatever, I don't know, dealt with in the car that I use, because it's been having some issues, and my brother came round to diagnose the problem because we had been told wrongly what was wrong with it, and it wasn't that at all. It's actually the transmission fluid is too low, and that's pretty much the crux of the issue. So that's going to be topped up. My brother's going to do that for us, well, with my husband. Well, my husband's going to do it with my brother's help, because my brother's very knowledgeable in cars, and he's rebuilt cars and things like that. So that's the extent of our plans, and church on Sunday, of course. Not to put that second, but it's just like, you know, that's normal. It's not anything special in a calendar, although it is special. It's just something we do. And it's very happy to now actually be going back to church after not being able to get there for several weeks after surgery. Right, so just hitting this with the coffee ink as well. Just I don't know if actually they're that different in look from what I can tell. And I'm also going to use some sepia and see what this does, because this is quite orangey, and I don't want to go too heavy with it, but just add a bit of almost like shading, you know, using the different colors, because it's going to have been around different places and different soil colors and picked up different grime. This is almost a rusty color, you could say. So, you know, maybe somebody was handling a chain on the ship and then handled the paper afterwards, so rusty color came off on his hand. Now, do I want to add the black on this one? Or do I want to just add some of this? I think we'll just add some of this, just for, you know, I like mixing things up. I don't like doing everything exactly the same. So let's, there we go. I think that adds something by using the different browns. We've also got aged mahogany there, but it's quite red, so maybe I won't add that. I can try it on another one. Perhaps we've 3 different colours on this one's enough. So again, going in and doing the back of it. Oops, I think we need a bit more ink. And let's give it some dirt on the back as well. Just going to do the vintage photo on the back. It's already coffee dyed, so it's, you know, it's not white or anything. We just want to give it a bit of age as well. Okay, there we go. Just getting rid of those crumbs. Okay, there's already quite a bit of text and things going on. But I do think I still want to add a stamp of some description. Let's use the bigger round one. Make sure it's up the right way. And let's go with the dark blue again. The navy, I should say. That's cool. Do I want another one? It's already got a number on it. This little stamp here says enclosure. I don't know if it makes sense, but I haven't used it, so let's just, like, this is an enclosure in a letter or a file or something. And I'm thinking I'm going to go coffee with it, just so that if it doesn't look so good, it's not going to stand out as much as if I did it in the navy. Probably look good in red, actually. Yeah, I actually quite like it in the coffee. I think that works well. Like I said, I think I said it earlier, but I said it in yesterday's video, it doesn't need to make sense. Like, it's fun if it does, but it doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to look good and be fun. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and do some coffee. Some coffee splodges. Ah, come on, sponge. Comply. Just did it more lightly there. And then let's go in really heavy for the coffee ring. Coffee rings. It's actually 2 rings overlapping. Kind of gets a little bit lost because we've put so much ink on. But I'm not mad about it. It's okay. It just all builds up into the picture. Now, another thing you can do, if you don't have inks, you can actually just take it outside and rub it in a patch of dry dirt. Believe me, it works. And that's what we used to do as kids when we were doing art projects or things and we wanted something to look old and grungy. We'd take it outside, rub it in the dirt, and we would physically burn the edges of it very carefully. Because you don't want to destroy the whole thing because it goes up in flames. It's kind of very frustrating when you lose a project because the flame got out of control. Right, I think I'm going to call that one done. Do I want to fold it in half or in thirds? Maybe we fold it in thirds this one just for something different. A reasonably good crease along that line. And because it's all crumply, it's you've got to work it a little bit to get it flat. And right, and let's go in and get those creases, dirty them up a bit. It's been running around in that gentleman's pocket or a lady's pocket. Yes, I like that. I do. And then on the inside as well, or the back. I'm sitting here and all I can smell is chocolate because I made a chocolate brownie this afternoon and it's teasing me with its delicious, rich, chocolatey smell. A place was having a clearance on their keto brownie mix and their keto drinking chocolate, which I haven't tried yet, but I've been dying to try the brownie and haven't been up to actually putting it together and popping it in the oven, and today was the day, and it just smells so good. It's making me hungry. I'm not hungry, but it's just, you know, making my mouth water and stuff. Okay, so there we go. We can fold that up and tuck that again in a pocket or in a tuck spot or inside an envelope even. And it's got some really cool ratty-tatty details, some fun stamping and journaling space. So I think I'm going to call it a day for this project. I've still got 2 more maps to do there, but I can continue on with those at my leisure. So there's what we've made today. 2 different maps, 2 different styles of folding. This one's got the black ink on it, this one doesn't, and I actually really like the black on that. But this does have some darker areas on it, so the black actually works with that as well. Love this field label stamp. I think that's super cool. I think they're really fun. Let me know if you try this project, if you do some, you know, something similar, or either yesterday's project with the index cards or this project with maps. Have a bit of playtime, have some fun, grungy some stuff up. Even if grungy is not your aesthetic, it's just fun to play and see what you can make. And maybe you want to turn it into an actual treasure map and do some X marks the spots things, or some like trek of footsteps or something, like go this way and then this way and draw a tree or something. I mean, you could take it wherever you like. It's just fun and freeing and playful and useful, because we've got 2 awesome writing spots to go in journals. And I would pop these in any like a guy's journal, a nature journal, a field notes kind of style journal, perhaps even a Tim Holtz style journal. Like, you know, there's lots of journals that you could use these in, or just your own journal for fun because you created something that was fun, and just to document then that you played with some art supplies. Okay guys, I'm going to leave you there. Have a great day, and I'll see you back for Friday's video, and then it's going to be the weekend. Okay, have fun everybody. Bye for now.